Hey, this is a really silly video. Really, really silly. And I look really, really silly when I show you what I want to show you. And I understand that most of you don't even feel what I feel inside. And that might be because music, what I'm doing right now. See, this stuff is, Men in Black would do that too, like play with their heads or straighten their neck up. Well, it's this habit that I can't keep myself from doing, but it's because there's this thing that keeps on. I don't know. I look really stupid and as if I just discovered that, but I've been trying for years to take that out. I managed to. It's because what I feel inside me, it took a really long time before I started feeling all that. The sexual chakra, love, sexual feelings, the energy coming in the chakras, energy flowing inside my head, inside the body. This veil or a voile, this long curtain that's wrapped all around me and that becomes all the way down to my feet. It even makes my feet give wrong spasms that pop balls up. Yeah, balls. Balls are roses. And roses, because when they get to where they're at, because when you're a father like me, I'm always one of the two roosters or chiefs. And this just started happening to me lately, maybe in the last 2 months. Otherwise, I was always kept silent and alone. So I could never fix anything that was wrong with me or in my head or talk about feelings or just talk to someone. I was stuck with my smoke all the time. And whenever I'd look at someone, it's someone holding me on a chain, making me notice the smoke or the beer. So it's probably pretty much always death when they turn my head. So yeah, they can turn your head. They have chains. Uh, I don't know. You're looking sideways. Your eyes are fucked up. No, so they can play with your muscles, and what they do is they have this highway to make it up onto the antenna, and they root themselves up in here. There's this kind of McFlurry McTwist that when you dig in it there's these spikes that appear. I don't know where I get those from, but they're like pointy things that you can kind of wrap around the other wire that's inside my head. And sometimes the wire is cold. Uh, and when you hit the wire, the certain wires, when they're almost undone, they give this cool beer and they kind of break into coldness. And it crackles and pops. That's probably addiction that does that, because the crack would do that too. It would make your head crack from all that dried up energy that cracks up and blocks. It's like if this costume crawls on top of you. My roommate comes in here and I have this slime that falls into my head, and I can feel this slimy warm thing. What the fuck is that? And he's a pervert, a narcissistic pervert. He's always, always, always in the quest to be on top and to be the boss and to be the winner. And no matter how nice or evil you are with him, he does not change attitude. He does not stop. He'll always do it. And what he'll do is he'll try to look innocent and leave when the worst is going to happen or something, so that he's not home when you fall onto his fucking balls and whatever he's been programming, driving his stupid race cars. Those racers they're coneheads that dig upwards all the time, and they do that all day. It's a full-time job. When you're a father, like I'm a father, I got well, I hate having that roof. I like having the crown with the bubble thing on top with that swirls softly. And but whenever I'm at home, I have these wires that meet up here, and others are in there. There's some blocking serotonin and dopamine. When I say dopamine, it leads to this hardened tube that I have to stretch out that crickles when and it's always the direction you have to take with your head is always exactly where this nerve that you can move around goes, and it's exactly where it hurts. You just can't get aligned because it hurts. And it's that only freaking spot that hurts all the time is when you're dead center right on the dot. Well, you're just next to the dot because the pain is on the dot. And it's this long wire. And I noticed that when I'd have to twirl like this, I have to dance. I think this is what they call twist and shout. And the Twisted Sisters, it's like pervert narcissists that twist up in your head and inside you. And then YouTubes, well, I call those rats yous, but they're not you anymore. You are you now. But they stole you and had it meaning them because of movies and bad music and toxic rock and roll that publicized rock, cocaine, and then rock and then you have to roll. You roll the logs down. There's all the logs aligned in the back of your spine. And you have to flush them down the hole. Their balls are flushing upwards. They're coming out of hell. And I have all these tubes and these kind of tentacle things that's why a jester has these, it's the same thing. And plus, I have the unicorn, and the tip in the center of the unicorn is a horny love spot. And that's always there. I said, what the fuck's up there? And when I don't do anything, I'm on this death program. Well, it's just giving me needs and envies all the time. I'm always jonesing for a smoke. When I finish one, he says, smoke another one. And I'm just, if no music is playing, I'm chain smoking and snorting speed all day. And then they'll go, oh, well, that's probably the speed. No, it's just fucking caffeine now. They don't even put real amphetamines in those anymore. What do you think you don't get in trouble? I tattooed this big important dealer not so long ago, and he confirmed that it's basically just caffeine. So, and I have another video. I can't remember what was the. There's another not. What was the? It's always poking my nose. Always, I have to always do the opposite and watch out not to poke my nose. But what I did is I said to myself, because you have to command yourself to act a certain way. But in every single spot where you settle down, well, exactly there, you have 5, 6 of those positions when you're sitting in front of the TV. You have like 10 positions you'll take to move around. Well, all of those 10 positions are stuck right next to this. Don't move a hair because you're going to poke your nose. It's fucking sucks. In the morning, it's not, it's all hardened, the pasta, the dough in there. I call it dough. I think that's what Homer Simpson means with dough. And why the Dow Jones? Because we're jonesing on dough. What's dough? It's powder and water. It's crack cocaine not cooked. Dough. And then they put the police eating donuts. A donut is dough is C, a note, and it's a nut of music. Nuts is what makes you courage and blah 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 and all these word games. Then what they do is they take everything that you like, and they either tell your brain or tell you while you're dancing and taking something out, you're actually putting stuff back in the meantime that are going to make you start all over once you're done to getting to the top. Well, up at the shoulders, you got everything back that was down below. You put everything back while twisting it off the rest. It's always starting all over. And if you're not really, really, really careful, you're always screwing in your nose. And there's this voice that tells you, just go next, just touch it a little bit. Just touch, go towards it. So you're always leaning on this fucking snot. And it's linked to my roommate's spot. That's a horny spot down my pants. So whenever it pokes my nose, well, something's making me want something down in my pants. Isn't that amazing? Nature's so well done. And then it's putting pain everywhere I look at that I have something that's good for me, or that I love, or that's creative, or constructive. Whatever could be good for you, they'll put the pain there, or the snot. And then every time you're done talking, you give a yank on the snot. Every time you start looking at something, you're playing around with the snot. And even that, those narcissists manage to dig and wrap your eyes around. And they can actually ask you questions or see through your eyes. A bit hazy, but they can get images. Or you're the one giving them the images because you're not hearing them telling you to do so. These invisible voices you can't hear. They say that in Epica. Voices you can't hear. I hear those voices. It's not schizophrenia. My psychiatrist refuses to call me a schizophrenic because she thinks I'm using that to be non-criminally responsible every time they manage to screw me up enough to lose the pedals and to start wailing on something or getting too angry, getting the police to. They're trying to make mistakes. That's what the narcissists do. And then they convince you by repeating and harassing, rubbing it on your envy. And then after 15 minutes of snot giving you envy, you do a fucking pill. You know, it's like every time you finish, all the time, every 5 fucking seconds you're poking that thing. It's always playing in your nose. But there's other things like that. Those are called roses because the rats, they crawl up here and they plug themselves in the wall of the dough, and it's this tiny, tiny mandolin string, a little wire that's erogenous or a orgasmic kind of wire. And that wire, and then some of them make it start all over when you hear a sound, any sound. When you say something, anything, and then something's bringing the balls back up every time you wasted a half hour trying to yank them out. And I'm stretching because those wires are kind of twirled into a position that if you get them out, they'll just fit right back to where they were because they have the shape that goes with it, I think. And the pasta stretches and it falls into place exactly where it was. So you gotta follow the pain and crunch it up, but it gets to hurt after a while. And this dough, or you rub music on it. The only trick I found was music. Actual music, where they play with all these weird sounds and it's not really music. That is really, really good. They make a noise every single time that thing would tell me to do something or try to grab me into a certain wrong direction. Because what they do is it kind of shoves you, and then you think that's the music that did that. So you follow the music, and sometimes the music is following the love. So when you're doing this, as long as you're following the love, you can never mess up the trail. But the thing is everywhere in the trail, every time you kind of change direction, there's another wire doing a Y there that's blocked by a go that way comment. That when you hit that, you go that way because it's your subconscious. It obeys. It tells you there, left, right. It just makes you work your way around what's fucking playing in your nose all the time or whatever's bugging you. My roommate, they managed to, because I'm kind of a Christ. I'm one. Well, you say one, it's always me, and I'm always blinking like a stroboscope when they say or click something. So there's 200,000 people. They even named Hell and Heaven, a place 300 meters from my place, on Facebook. So, and then I get these messages when I get mad of people going, ah. And all Facebook pictures change when I dance for hours at night. And they put all their new hairdo up. because I'm actually doing their hair up, not mine. Because they trick me, they come into my mind, so I think it's still me, but they just really be quiet. So then you're in his mind, and you're telling him where to go to take everything off while you're leaving your stuff there. You're cleaning his shit up that you gave him because he was being a prick. You know? The balls, the roses. And where that wire crawls into your head, well, it's kind of a rose to dig into there to find the source and the where the little pointy thing sticks into the ledge, and where the top of that fly is, or whatever controls that. Often it's cats. My cat would crawl up here. It wouldn't be comfortable unless it would be sitting up there, and it'd be always, every once in a while, it'd give me a little shove. You know, oh, do speed, do speed. So it's kind of annoying when you're alone and nobody talks to you, nobody comes to see you. You lost all your old friends because your wheelchair girlfriend that hit you when she was going to get caught fucking around got rid of all your old friends because she tried them all. And so they felt so bad they stopped talking to me. So it's this big narcissistic game I'm victim of that made me do it all my life. But since I had anarchist principle, equalitarian, hippie mentality, open to ecology and all the good principles, because I'm the good knight, I'm a Che. So those are, you know, the Versace, that pill they took out, that was Versa, vis versa. Versa is against. Versace is against Che. Che was their problem because he was neutral. It wasn't either capitalist or either side they could corrupt. Because they both failed. Capitalists and communists failed. They're both corrupt. Or more or less, but still corrupt. Still kind of right-winged people manage to 1% themselves on top and be really wealthy when everybody's broke. So that's all a narcissistic game. When they feed you caviar, it's real fish eggs because they're putting eggs inside of you. And because when they say thick and that's you, that's thick, well, they know they can do anything with you without you noticing. And they don't even have to be careful. They can play around in your mind as long as they want. So in order, see, I'm grinding that energy down, and I'm speaking on the love, and from speaking and grabbing my real voice, I can feel this stuff all melting inside me. Maybe a good conversation or a supper with really good people that are not narcissists and egoistic or manipulative. But the thing is most good people that are non-manipulative and non-narcissistic do not have access to that zone and cannot perform fuck all in nobody's brain. Only narcissists have this trail to go up there, and you have to be evil girls to be able to climb up there. And that's where they hang out, because we're on the floor having fun, I think. And then supposedly the roof is yellow, because I saw pictures with a yellow roof. But mine is a fucking snowstorm. Everything I like, I have trouble starting to do. Is this kiss of Christ. Nothing works in your life. You never get good opportunities. You never get good surprises. You're always alone at your birthday. You're always alone at the bar. You're stuck with this narcissistic asshole for roommate that fucks your mind up all the time. Every day. Because when I go to sleep, well, he drives around in there and puts a whole bunch of bullshit everywhere and little instructions keeping me centered on powder, for fuck's sakes. It's annoying. Try to stop when they're reminding you all the time. And making you Jones over it. With that sexual envy feeling that... like if that wouldn't be, that's him. Those are rats down there in your perineal area, from in front to back to the anus. When you're a father or a host, they're all down there. In the back, it's the rats, the slaughter pit, where the bikers and stuff like that are in the back. And then there's hell, there's well, there's more, there's the will take you there too. The well we cleaned up, hell we cleaned up. That's all places inside of you when you're an alpha. alpha males and sigmas have all these extra buttons on their joystick to play around with people within the puppet master. Master of puppets is for real. Satan was for real until I became Satan. I'm the beast. I can't talk nowhere because I have long, sharp teeth and I'm all brown and hairy and white sharks don't like me. They run away when they see me or kiss the fuck out of me. And what they do is I'm a tattoo artist and there's these tunnels that we create by passing through. We dig this magical net like in E.T. with tunnels. E.T., I have the same thing. I have this wake up here. This way is always flowing, but there's a fucking snake or tons of snakes around it. Like that image where the snakes go for the scepter. The snakes are still there. It's all this coalition of narcissistic perverts and narcissists, and then they all come for a small tattoo, but they're putting yellow notes everywhere in the tunnel with an emotion that makes you Jones. So every 5 steps in your routine, you're getting a smoking envy, and they're telling you to do speed. So every 5 feet. And when you start to work, when you stop to work, they got you tired a minute before you stop. You start feeling tired every time. Everything to get you to want to wake up, and drink all those energy drinks they sell. And I almost had that one. Dead on. So I usually go dancing around. Because when you rub violin, accordion, or stuff like that on the pasta, it melts. And you're probably getting tons of energy right now. If you just have to breathe in, and I'm giving you shitloads of energy. I'm boiling with energy. There's everywhere. There's this energy that's just energy, and then it kind of twirls around in these bubble wrappers that tape in, but they're long things that they kind of change, and they wrap around here, go around like that, and then down in here, and then they strapped all this zone with contracting muscles up here that stretch this, that make you feel it, contracting muscles there, everywhere. There's about 5,000 little mandolin strings around here that all click in when you get close, all of them, and they all tell you move away a bit. So you're always avoiding what you have to fix. So you have to be smarter than the fucking thing. Oh, it's a pain in the ass. So what I didn't try is to just let it be. But if I let it be and there's no music, I'm in the ashtray non-stop. And my phone's been looking like this. Anyways, I had the Misfits skull on my picture because whenever I picked that thing up, it was somebody kissing me, pretending they want a tattoo. So now they're sabotaging in those tunnels. I'm telling you, they have all these bad comments because my poster, my company, they're trying to break me and to get me to close, and because they stole my kid away. The KKK took my kid away. Or fascism, because fascism steals, they parasite left-wing people in good nights and beat them up and scare them and intimidate them and separate the good couples, and there's a whole bunch of stuff they do to good people because they never get regret doing something to good people because they're good and never do something wrong to them. So they're the perfect victims. So what they do to good people is they get into their mind and they dictate what they want them to do. So when you don't hear those voices, you just automatically obey because that's the only thing that your subconscious mind can do is that and take pictures of what you need or want or like or love. So that's when you breathe in, when you're at ground zero, when the rib cage is down, that's your first need when you breathe in that's going to appear. Or the last thing you looked at. I'm getting all this energy and even getting a bit of of a fort liquor. When you dig the fort, you get whiskey and rum. When you dig the castle up, but I have all these trails. See, and it's always I'm conditioned to rub myself on it all the time. I have to go really slow, and there's this little slot I can squeeze through sometimes, and I have to redo every single one of my postures. I have to settle down and take my phone. Here's a posture. Here I'm right next. I can't barely move. I'm right on the nose thing. It's like as soon as I take my phone. So I have to get myself used to, I have to stretch it away. And see, I look at my phone. So now I'll have more room before I, see, I have lots of room before I touch it. I managed to, but it just keeps on coming back. I'm just, by the way, so if you need help for rats, I think I'm one of the best rat coaches there is. So open your mind up, and I give instructions. I had this other guy that was good, that was trying to take it out, that left me 2 good instructions inside there. I don't know, it's this kid or something that, but sometimes those narcissists are going to give you one good advice for you to answer, because when you answer or they hear you, they know they're at the right place. But what they'll do usually is they'll ask you a question, what's in front of you? And then they'll tell you, where are the smokes? Where's the lighter? Where's the speed? Where's everything bad, finally? So once they know where all those are, because your mind knows, so your eyes kind of point to it, even if they don't move. So it knows that slot inside your head where the smokes or the ashtray is. So it puts envy there, and it keeps on pushing you that way. So now I'm stretching these wires again. So it's wires and dough that you untwist, the fucking twisted sisters. This might seem really crazy, but I'm feeling this because you're not feeling this, because I'm dealing with all this. So please don't laugh at me. I'm trying to show people to help me out, because it seems like I'm the only one playing around with this mess. Well, Star Wars noticed we were doing rewiring, and we were putting wires back at the right spot, and closing rat trails out, and whatever parasites are in there, but it's this never-ending story. They go by the sign infinity, because whenever you see one of them, they just kiss you back with 5 seconds, and then you're stuck there. Start all over the 4 hours of dancing you were doing the first night, because since you didn't take the whole thing out, well, it's easier for them to crawl back up. So as soon as they wake up, they kind of have this pilot that takes them right to destination if the tunnel's still there, and it starts all over again. And then they start putting all this bad stuff in there to fool you all day while they're talking. And sometimes they put you, they say that person's him. So the person falls under your program. So they notice what she looks at and where she goes under which word and what thing they say, and la la la. So by examining that person, that's me, well, they can turn their heads in a certain sequence that will avoid me, and then tell people to not look at me, not talk to me, a whole bunch of stuff. I got a cold. So yeah, these narcissistic perverts are telepaths. They can command your subconscious, and a lot of people are under a program that comes from TV or their music that's not even good for them, that's keeping them closed and blind. Because there's all this mattress you can see when you're an awakened or a chosen one, and that you realize that your realize has opened onto real lies. So I'm getting all this energy. Take beer, whiskey. Oh, there's still this knot up on the top, this twirly thing. I don't know who is still. It's probably my fucking roommate, because he's a dickhead. he just crawls all the way back up all the time. So you have to look silly and kind of crunch that wire. And when I start, their trick is to make you smoke. So every time you light a smoke, it brings them back to where they were. And smokes are hard to resist. So by lighting the smoke, you actually, while you're doing something, something's going back up that you don't notice. So it's always, whenever you're on autopilot, that stuff is happening that's not yours. We can play around with people, especially if we're alpha. But I think that betas have influenced each other's also. And the thing is, am I gonna get it? It all twirls and there's all these loops and shit. And, oh my god, it's a mess in there. The nostril again. I'm not too far from getting it out. But sometimes my head on Epica, my head starts to headbang this really complicated sequence and real fast. And I don't even mess up. I'm always in the right direction, following the whole thing the whole way. Because you have to make it to the top of that bell thing that's shitting some love down or a tape down that's actually making everything back restart all the time. Well, that thing, when you get there, it'll become this confrontation. And it's twisting around the wrong way. You have to manage to, without bending a muscle, with just the music controlling you, you have to kind of get on top of it by not forcing and making it turn the other way and then melting it down. You can try Mercury sometimes. Mercury melts a whole bunch of energy like that down. Mercury. Your brain's melting. But mercury, sulfur, and salt are really good. There's the 3 basic elements. Then all the normal 4 elements each at their place where they should be, and then all the heavy metals interacting to protect that zone. You can use those elements. See, it tastes like minerals now in your mouth. At my mouth, it tastes like minerals now. It tastes like metal or something. It tastes good. It tastes like tea or whatever. I can take water and this is a gin. I can take water and transform it into wine. I'm like Christ. But you always have to look stupid and twirl this never-ending story out of your mind. And there's these roses that are all over the place. I'm a real rose bush. So whoever wants to be king, that's good. You're gonna have a hell of a hard time not going nuts. Because this is crazy shit. It drives you nuts. It tells me to speak to myself when somebody's not far so I look crazy. It makes me act like a schizo when I'm in front of a psychiatrist getting evaluated. I get this way of talking that I never do. I never talk like a sick, crazy person. I fall into this program that's totally schizo. So they take me away for 3 months all the time when I'm not, So it's really hard to get rid of, and I don't know how I'll ever manage to get. I know magic gives them shit and programs them, but I think the ones on the top are immune and they don't get all the shit, but they're also plugged down here. So sometimes music just blasts what's down there. It doesn't take care of the trails. So by hitting what's down there, it's kind of more mellow, but everybody gets the message. It's like electric wiring that love. What you say on love, they will love. Because it's the love will connect it. And it's the love you have to follow. But they're always taking you off course. So you have to be wiser. And it's hard to do the opposite when everything's commanding you to do the other direction. You're always, like when you're trying to move, looking in the mirror, you're always going the wrong way. Even if you say, I have to go the right way now, or I have to go the opposite way, you still go the wrong way. Well, it's a bit like that, because everything's telling you to go that way, but that's where it pokes your nose. And just a bit before is where you were supposed to turn, where it was saying that way or this way. So that's how you take roses out. This is really crazy. I do see a psychiatrist, and today I was washing, and the music was making me rub the ceiling with music, and it was going because this really really subtle thing would kick in that I wouldn't notice that it wasn't me. It's this really subtle worm that just kind of digs your takes your energy all the time and is really always just slowly controlling you. And then when you come to do something good, and when he sees that you're gonna think about eating, well, he changes spot and brings it where you think about doing drugs. So they try to kill you that way. And then, like, I have all the trouble in the world to get motivated to take a shower because he put a nail on that. And it's always going on. Oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, no, I don't feel like it. I don't. Every time I want to start something, it's always, oh, no, I don't feel like it. It took everything to do this video. I was afraid to make a fool out of myself. And anytime, I like doing videos, so they start discouraging me from doing it and keeping me busy with this stupid shit or distracting me. And they'll distract me when I come to think of my responsibilities, when it's time to clean up. Whatever is a responsibility and that makes you look good, I just cannot do without a combat every time. I spent 20 years waking up at maybe an hour before the alarm clock for when it would ring, this voice would tell me you're tired now. So my brain would make me tired. I'd feel tired as soon as the alarm would ring. I spent 15 years like that, fighting and trying to get up and awake, and it's early too. Plus, it's things telling you I don't feel like it, I don't feel like it. Plus, it's already hard to wake up in the morning to go work, and plus, it's calvaire. Calvaire is when everything. Calvaire is when you drink worms. Les vers de solitary worms. You have to take the whole thing out, otherwise it just takes control. It poisons the whole entire body. The fucking thing. It crawls all over and puts you cues to do this, do that, and it's all a death list. The whole set of instructions. Or they'll give you 2-3 good things in a row, so that when you fall on the sequence, you go, oh, this must be one of mine or my music's because it's taking care of me. It's bringing me to juice and what I like, what's good for me. And then all of a sudden, it drags her straight to the speed. It was his sequence that would end up with a catastrophe. But usually with the 2-3 first elements, you stop taking everything out because you go, oh, this must be good. It's a good trail. I'll leave it like that. So in order to try to make it back to this good trail one of these days. So it's all these trails in your mind, and then sometimes they fool you into uncrunching what you blocked to keep them from coming in. So you start fixing all this shit, and I send them balls when I see they came in, that they're open, so I yank them a ball. So I just have to, I don't know where they come from, but I kind of spring them out and slingshot them, and it goes, the wires, the paper, like paper flying up and on twirling, and then they go, huh? And then they start doing stupid things and get really messed up. Because I kiss too. So, whenever, you have to kind of spring and let go of the ball. It's like a balançoire when you're a swing set. It's a balançoire. It's throwing balls. Giving the dog a ball. So ball. Roses are balls. Evil fascists give roses, and we give flowers. Balls. They're all balls. So those tattoos they get in their face, they're trying to tell you that the one that says always tired, well, he has this rose that makes him tired all the time. No matter what, he is always tired. That's a rose fascists gave him. A rose is a kiss. A rose is bad luck. It's bad habits, bad spasms, a tendency, a suicidal tendency. When you're not even suicidal, you just everything you do kills you without you noticing, or you're just looking at death whenever you turn the head, or dealers or prostitutes or whatever could be the worst thing you could fall on is what you have in your face every time you wake up with those roses and those kisses. So yeah, I'm filled, packed. I have tons of those, but it doesn't really affect me. But I want to get rid of the roof because I'm never hungry, and I'm positive that my roommate is a BS and he never has money. He goes to the popular soup and soup kitchens and all that, and then plays PlayStation all day. So he's always playing in the tunnels. You can do it while he's playing the race car drivers. Jerry was a race car driver. Another thing to entour. So yeah, this is my crazy video. So try to be careful. You gotta dance and pay attention. And then you can say words in the tunnels and put animals in the tunnels. You put cat, dog, elephant, octopus, Dominique Chagnon octopus. Hunting Chagnon family hunting octopus. So now I'm gonna be a Chagnon hunting octopus up there, hunting the Chagnons and making them drink wine and butter and sugar and kill themselves because they ruined my life by taking my kid away. I got organized crime kissing me, trying to kill me because they don't want me to ever get that kid because they took my bloodline away. They took the KKK does that. The fascists do that. I'm a left-wing center. I'm an anarchist in the center. I'm like Che Guevara. I'm the first and best. I used to be a best. I was a little king of the hill. I was a little leader. I had lots of friends growing up. I was popular. I would be good at whatever I'd try. I'd try any instrument. This is annoying. Any instrument. Well, I have this drive to understand everything that was complicated. It's a good thing because I would have never figured out these kisses if I wouldn't have this compulsive need to overcome any problem. So what I'm doing is I'm crackling the wire the opposite way it's curving, so it doesn't crawl back into the same area, affecting the same things the same way. But it just doubles out, and then this other thing crawls out and doubles out. Then there's up here, there's like a big mohawk with things that make you start over or make you touch it. There's still this thing back here I never managed to take out. I wonder what it leaves. So I'll stop this video so you can dance and dance, follow the love. The love is the right way. And I call this a dance meditation or twist and shout. And I think that's what they meant by twist and shout, because you got to twist like a crazy guy. And then they put this thing that scrapes my throat, this wire. It rubs on where my coughing alarm is. That thing turns on and rubs when you have to cough. I have something stuck down there. But me, they're making me yank on it all the time. They managed to attach it to, I don't know why, where. I just can't get it out. Somebody crawled in there and made it through my vocal cords, and it's making me cough. And they keep on coming back. It kind of grows all the time. So if you stop a half hour, you come back, well, you have to restart most of the things you were doing. As long as you didn't take the whole thing out, I think it crawls back all the time. But it does get a bit better. You manage to get some of it. Not to come back. I do this every day. It's crazy. And I'm going to change my coat. My roommate, he lets me dance and wiggle for hours. And then he goes, well, it's been long enough. Then he just comes to the toilet and he just looks at it. He just opens his eyes. Just seeing him makes everything pop back up and I have to start all over again. That's why I have to get rid of him. It's this eternal, never-ending story. It just never stops. It comes back all the time. But it'll stop coming back all the time because the thing that triggers the coming back is now dead and not working and dysfunctional. You have to talk on it. You will stop making me start all over again. I will never start all over. Nothing will come back. I will never draw anything back up unconsciously. I tried everything. Try giving yourself commands. Try whatever. And whatever brings it back is always coming back. And then there's this place where and whenever you're holding something, you obviously have to spill it. There's something that's always there. That even while you're wiggling, it knows what's in front of you. Well, part of it is that of the metalheads, because both arms are like this. But I got the Resident Evil problem and the Silent Hill problem. And I look crazy right now. And you'll probably think I'm a really, really big weirdo, but I feel this stuff. I'm trying to explain it. Music takes... Madonna, when she says, let your body move to the music, well, it's exactly, you have to relax, and then the music is going to take you in a certain direction. Then follow the love, and it'll crunch out, and just follow the love, and put evil, bad words on the love, and vomit and bullshit from metal bands and folk and punk rock and actual music. There's more and more music that's good now. I think they even pimped Justin Bieber. He's actually a grindcore artist, because grindcore took control of his little mind, and now he behaves like one of us. Same with Paris Hilton, because I found those names in Last FM grindcore artists. Grindcore is really good. It grinds those things out crazy. But the thing is he knows you're listening to music, so he's telling you to stop listening to it and to not direct the music on whatever's bothering you or that you have to remove. And then it's when you fall asleep, it's not working anymore. Because when you're sleeping, he can go to where you fall asleep and give you an instruction that you can't correct because you never notice that it's there. That's why they headbang, is to get these things loose. Okay, so this is enough headbanging. I'll keep on dancing for a while. I might do a video on pedophiles because those narcissists play with your mind and your sexual chakra. And what creates a pedophile is narcissistic manipulation, linking his sexual chakra to little girls and little boys with messages that convince him. So after 5 years of that, he ends up really wanting to do it. But it's not his fault. It's this narcissistic crew that's up in his mind that's driving his nuts and making him feel love when it's kids. If they put the kids on his asshole, he'd never want to fuck them. It's a problem. So that would be my other video. So peace. Don't trust these. These are fascists. Rules are fascists. Fascists are narcissists. Fascists and narcissists are cannibalistic and satanists too. Because if they sacrifice, well, that means they scapegoat someone, like me, a good night, like on Harley Quinn's back, and they rot his life away with a Johnny Rotten type of asshole. So enough is enough. Have a great one. I hope this helps you, and I hope you won't say I'm that crazy. I hope this is going to be a scandal, and everybody comes and sees me and goes, oh, well, look at the weirdo. So share. And subscribe to my channel down here and down here. Oh, I know. I think it flips over when I publish. I don't know which side they're on. One is the next video. One, the logo with the anarchy symbol is the chain to subscribe. So have a nice one. Bye-bye.